Hi, welcome to my second ever YouTube video. I'm gonna not say in this one. I'm gonna really try hard not to. So today I'm gonna be talking about DNFing books. Did not finish. It's quite a new concept to me. It's quite a new concept to me, DNFing. I had to Google what it meant because I didn't know. I do know what it means now. And actually, my second book of 2025 was a DNF. I actually got 200 pages into it before I decided to DNF it. But up until that point, it was like a struggle. And I was dreading reading, which is not something that I usually experience. I usually can't wait to read. I usually find time to read when I don't have time. I will look for moments to pull my book out. I actually have a backpack where I keep all my stuff, like my books and my highlighters and my notepad and my index tabs. I keep it in a backpack and I actually carry it around with me, which sounds a bit weird, but it's just so that if I have a moment to steal, I can quickly read or journal or something bookish. Maybe I should do a little haul of my bag on a YouTube video at some point. But today I want to talk about DNFing. And I wanted to know, what is the reason that you would DNF a book? And how many pages do you go until you do? I also heard about the 50-page rule, which I thought was pretty cool. So if you get to page 50 and you're not getting into it, DNF. But to push through to page 50, because some books are slow burn, some more than others. And I think that's really good, the 50-page rule. So I actually have decided to start doing that, get to page 50 and then make a decision. But I was reading The Cloisters by Katie Hayes, and I that's the book that I DNF'd. I just couldn't get into it, and it looked like the sort of book that I would really enjoy, and I just couldn't get along with it at all. I've written a review. Have you read the book? Did you think it was good? I would be interested to know. So it is actually one of my goals is to DNF more books this year, because I think there's too many good books on my TBR to waste my time reading books that are not meant for me. And I don't think it particularly means that a book is it's a poorly written book or there's anything wrong with it if you DNF it. Sometimes books just aren't for you, and that we as readers need to learn this. Like we don't need to be reading books and pushing ourselves to finish them if we are finding it a struggle to read it. I did make an Instagram post about DNFing and I got some really cool comments. And I've noted some of the best ones down to share with you about DNFing books, which I thought was quite insightful. Somebody actually shared with me a comment saying that they swapped to audio and put it on ×3 speed, which she said was similar to DNFing. I said again. I thought that was really cool. She said she does audio and paper for some books, which I thought was a pretty good, like a life hack. So, you know, if you're kind of finding it a bit of a struggle to read a book, switch to audio, maybe speed it up a little bit, and it's kind of the equivalent to skimming a book. And sorry, I'm reading from notes, and I haven't said as much as I did in my first video, right? So that's something. And yeah, you also, if you push through books that you're not really enjoying, you're sapping all the enjoyment that you get from reading, and you're making reading like a chore. And I think that you potentially could end up putting you off reading, which is not a good thing, and we just don't need to be doing that. And I know that I spent too much time last year reading books that just weren't right for me. And this was before I discovered Goodreads, because I've only discovered Goodreads just before Christmas, and I only discovered the Bookstagram community just before Christmas. And it's opened my world of books that are out there that I know are within the genres that I enjoy. So I've got like nearly 100 books on my TBR on Goodreads that I'm really excited about. So I'm not going to be wasting my time reading books I don't need to be reading this year. I'm going to be quick to DNF books. But like, you feel like you're quitting with, right, when you DNF, and you have a bit of a guilt complex going on, that you're not giving the book another chance. So I get it. That's what I feel. It's silly. Like, I just feel guilty for some reason, but to who, I don't know. Like, it's weird. Yes. So there was a comment also on my Instagram about this lady said that she DNF'd Netflix like TV shows as well. And I had a little think about that, and I was like, yeah, I'm the same with series. I don't really watch that much TV, but when if I'm getting into a series and I just like lose interest, I DNF. I do DNF series. I don't have an issue DNFing quite a lot of things in life, not just TV and books. Like, I DNF a lot of things. I have quite bad ADHD, so I flip from one thing to another quite a lot, and so I can be like all guns blazing, really into pouring my all into one thing, and then I'll just lose interest and go to something else. So I don't have a problem DNFing anything else in my life, but books, I really struggle to DNF. Why is that? I don't know. I think it's because my passion for literature is like outweighs everything else in my life. Like, when all is said and done, books. If you ask me what to take on a desert island, I'd choose books. Unlimited books for the time that I was there, over and above food and water. I'm not even exaggerating. But if you don't, the other option, I also shared a post about pausing books, because it's something completely different from DNFing. I saw a while ago that someone I follow on Goodreads has got a paused shelf, and I was like, wow, okay, that's really cool. A paused shelf. Some books find you when they should, but they're meant to be completed at another time. And I find that, particularly for me, if I'm reading a long book, you know, like a big book, or a classic, which takes me a little bit longer to read than it would like a more modern book because of the language, I might get like halfway through and just all of a sudden fancy a different genre, like a bit of fantasy or a thriller, or sometimes like a travel memoir or something, or an autobiography. And because I get book cravings. Do you get book cravings? I'm like, I really fancy this. I really fancy a thriller, and I go to my TBR shelf and have a look at what I've got there, and I'll just go and read that. So I'm like, okay, so instead of DNFing those books, I'm going to pause them, because it's differentiating between the two. Because a paused book is not the same as a DNF book. Like, who knows if you're ever going to pick the paused book up again, but it's definitely a maybe and not a no, right? So it's not just about learning to DNF books, it's learning to figure out whether it's a DNF or a pause. Because maybe you just need to take a break from that book and come back to it, put a really pretty bookmark in it, put it on your pause shelf, come back to it, maybe. So I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this DNF pause situation. Maybe drop me a comment, or share with me what you think about these things. Do you DNF books? Do you pause books? Anyway, it's been a much better video than my first one. I'm building up my confidence. I'm not saying quite so much. And I'm aiming to post like maybe once or twice a week, because I am quite busy. I have 5 kids, a currently living in a hotel. It's very stressful. Anyway, take care and hope to connect with some YouTube book people. And don't forget, I have Instagram and Goodreads, and that my link is in, I think it's in my bio. I'm not sure.